Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are back on this fine Monday afternoon and we are ready to go. Dynex has been going on a beginning of a parabolic rally. We'll talk about it. We'll discuss why it's one of the most hated rallies in all of crypto. And of course, we will go through some of the Dside news that we have missed because I took all of last week off. I'm happy, I'm excited, I'm ready to absolutely crush it this week. So hopefully you guys are as well. You can see right now on the weekly chart for Dynex that for the first time since really we've been talking about Dynex, it is actually setting in an uptrend. We just ended May, and for the first green month since we started talking about Dynex, we had 5 red months in a row, and finally May ended as a green monthly candle. This is exciting, guys. You guys should all be amped up now. You can finally start buying into it because it stopped just selling off a cliff. It is currently breaking above the 100-day moving average, which is very exciting because we've now officially cleared 3 of the moving averages on Dynex's daily chart. I initially was saying that it was starting to break out when we broke up above this downtrend. I thought for sure that it would find support here at 2.8 cents, but it didn't. It fell back a little bit more to form a pretty clean triple bottom here before starting its absolute parabolic rally. Now, you have to take it with a grain of salt because even in this quote-unquote parabolic rally, it's only up 119%, but I think it's the beginning of something much, much larger where it tracks all the way back up to $1 to put in new all-time highs this cycle. We got several more months left in this cycle. I do believe that it's over this year, but we do have several more months in this year as we just entered month 6. What's going on, Beagle? How's it going, Landon? What's good, Ruralis? How's it going, SG? Welcome in, C90. Hopefully all you guys are ready to go when alt season. I don't know that we'll have alt season, my guy. I think it's just going to be a never-ending cycle of Bitcoin dominance trucking higher. We have little mini altcoin rallies every time dominance falls, but this seems to be the Bitcoin cycle. And hopefully in saying that, I can trick the market makers into sending dominance on a massive breakdown. We'll see what ends up happening for real, but I would really love to see dominance fall below 50%. And in doing that, we would get the craziest altcoin rallies that we have ever seen this cycle. But who knows? We'll see. You guys just make sure you come in and tune into the live streams. I'm sorry I took last week off. Hopefully you guys didn't miss me too much. But I needed a little bit of time to organize everything on my end and just take a minute. Take a minute. I should have announced it, but that's okay. So here we are. Everything seems to be going pretty well. If you go look at Bitcoin on the daily time frame, you'll see that it is having that big fallback, that big pullback, which is pretty unique. Usually when Bitcoin starts to break out to new all-time highs, it really does rally like crazy. Doesn't usually have that 6% pullback, 7% pullback. I think we're probably going to come down and test 99,000 right on this dotted yellow line that we have. I would love to see it kind of holding there. It would freak a lot of people out, right? Because it would break below this previous little region of contention. And in doing so, I think it would liquidate a lot of people. And then the market makers could continue to send it. One person that I think we should all take a moment of silence for is this guy. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it, but James Wynn. So James Wynn, for those of you who don't know, he went long as soon as Bitcoin started breaking out with, I think it was let's find the actual data though, because it was actually pretty insane. Here it is. So he went long, James Wynn, this trader, went long with $70 million on a 40x leverage long on Bitcoin when Bitcoin broke out. And this pullback that just happened with Bitcoin caused him to be liquidated. Now his net long was something like $1 billion long on Bitcoin because he was using that 40x leverage. He got liquidated. And then he proceeded to go withdraw money from his staked account over on Hyperliquid and go long again. And he is about to be liquidated again. He did $100 million long, $4 million from Hype USDC to go long Bitcoin, probably on 25x leverage. And he's down 73% 2 hours ago. So RIP that guy. RIP that guy. Just, I mean, take a moment, appreciate the fact that you didn't just lose $100 million, and let's keep going. As long as you're in the game, you're in the game. As long as you don't do that kind of a move, you are in the game. Clearly, he wasn't full porting, but like I said, generally speaking, when Bitcoin breaks out to new highs, it just goes parabolic. And so everyone was expecting that. Thus, we had a bit of a fake out here. And I think that it goes in line with what I was saying, where I was expecting here for Bitcoin to fall down to 99K, but it ended up ripping new highs and then falling down. We'll see if it comes and finds support somewhere around here. It would be really nice, actually, if we do a little bar pattern. If we got something like this, I think that would be very good for Bitcoin. Maybe not as dramatic, but something like that, right? Where it liquidates people, comes down, waits for the 200-day moving average to come up and test it, and then continues the rally, because we still haven't really had a back test of the 200-day moving average since we broke out above it. So I would like to see that in order to sustain a healthy rally, because ultimately the RSI had gotten very oversold or overbought, and it was starting to round out backwards, right? It was starting to trend a little bit lower. We broke below the moving average on the RSI, and yeah. But nonetheless, I do personally think Bitcoin is in the middle of its final leg, up to $150,000 to $160,000 per Bitcoin by Q3 of this year, maybe Q4, but that's the next 3 to 6 months. In the next 3 to 6 months, I think we got that next rally up here. Maybe if everything goes really smoothly and we get a blow off top up to 200K, but I'm not holding my breath for that one. As far as the title of the live stream, Dynex up 12.98% today, almost 13%. The RSI is showing that we still have a lot of momentum left in this rally. I think we'll come up, maybe not push all the way up as high as it did here, the RSI that is, but see price push up higher, upwards of 6 cents or so. I want to see this move here. I want to see this move break up above 13 cents and hold above the 200-day moving average. I want it to be a straight line. I missed your hopium. I needed it. Let's go, Beagle. I needed the hopium as well. I want to see Dynex really just push parabolic and hold above all the moving averages. That way there is nothing else above us, right? In my opinion, obviously all of this is still above us, but I would love to see Dynex take out all the moving averages and just have some price action to go through, because I do believe that this rally is going to take us much, much higher. I think that we're headed up into like $5 to $10 for Dynex. Dynex is a multi-billion-dollar project, in my opinion, trading at a $4.5 million market cap. And hopefully you guys packed some of your bags, and maybe a break up above the moving average would put some of you in profits. Maybe. I don't even know where my my average buy-in is for Dynex, and I don't really want to know. I just know that my bags are packed and I am ready for a rally up much, much higher than $1. We will see. We should pull up some Dynex stuff, because Dynex was putting out a lot of good information recently. A lot of cool news came out as far as Dynex and their quantum large language model. So I know most of you guys know what Dynex is, but we'll see. So the wait is over. The roadmap has been updated from the Apollo chip to quantum nodes. This was May 19th, so it was several days ago. I think most of you guys have probably already seen it, but they pushed the timeline, or they pushed the roadmap to the timeline. And let's scroll to the current quarter. When I was looking at it, they didn't have these markers here, so we're still in 2024. So let's scroll to 2025. Q2 2025. So this is where we're ending. We're coming into the end of Q2 2025, although I guess it technically just ended. The QD LLM benchmarks on the 8B parameters, that has been successfully finished. The certified integration partner, Kali Technology Solutions, so they got more partnerships, more people using their tech. They won an award for We Love Tech Awards, the 2025 We Love Tech Awards. They relaunched the mobile wallet in beta, so that's exciting. They've now done over 1 million quantum jobs. That is very, very insightful. That's super exciting to see. And what they have yet to actually complete are some customer testimonials. So they need to post some of those. The quantum nodes gamma rollout. So the early days of the quantum nodes. Dynex patent number 2. So they're working on that apparently. The public relations and marketing programs and conferences and events. They did several conferences and events and they launched this task force, although it still definitely needs some more work to be done. Q3 2025, the public relations and marketing program. So continuing the efforts on like just pushing their public facing side a little bit more so that everyone knows what they're doing and has that transparency. They're also trying to make the blockchain more transparent so anyone can go view the transactions. Hopefully we can hunt down whoever keeps selling. Your week off has pushed me to a full Bitcoin maxi. No, C90, no, come back to us. Come back to us, please. Conference and events, still doing conferences. The quantum node rollout, so they want to get that out this quarter. The QD LLM, they did the 1, they did the 8, now they're working on the 80B models, which will be really exciting. I mean, that's a 10x on the QD LLM, so we should see some pretty impressive numbers coming out of that. The customer testimonials, so the same thing, certified integration partners, and move to 100% non-privacy. So this will be really, really good. I hope that this is their focus right now, honestly, and then they can go back to the quantum large language model. I hope that they can get to full privacy so that there is no FUD when the QDLLM really does start breaking records and catching attention. That way everyone can see the complete transparency. And then, yeah, look at that. So that's them working on a real large language model because the other parameters are kind of small language models, which are still very powerful, but not as popular. Yeah, there you go. Dynex, putting in work consistently. And honestly, really glad that it's starting to break out. Really glad. Come on, get out of here. I should just upgrade to the premium for TradingView, shouldn't I? But I do not want to. Yeah, things are going good. What do you guys think? How many of you guys have bought into Dynex? Curious if any of you guys are in the positive on Dynex now. It is up like 130%. Long way to go, but I'm curious if any of you guys got the actual bottom of the crash. On the hourly chart, you can see things held up pretty good. I think on the 4 hour, the uptrend looks very intact. Yeah. On the 4 hour, you can see Dynex coming down, not really testing the 50-day moving average on the 4 hour, but in this pullback it did. I would love to see it this week kind of put some new highs in. Still down 50%. All right. Okay. It needs to double. Yep. It happens, Jaden. It happens. The 13 cents will put it up in profit, but 10 cents is honestly a good entry price for Dynex. If your average is under 10 cents, I think you're in for a really pleasant ride here because honestly, a $10 million market cap for Dynex is still not anywhere near where I think it belongs. If we go look at some of the other ones, we go look at D-Wave, one of their main, I don't want to say competitors, but another company doing the same thing. D-Wave has had a crazy rally and it's starting to stagnate a little bit here. I saw a lot on YouTube that Martin Shkreli despises D-Wave. They're trying to say that D-Wave is in a massive bubble right now, trying to say that quantum annealing computing is not really the same and doesn't actually provide the same value. But I think it's not totally true. I think they're just set. People like Shkreli, I think, are very much set in stone on true physical quantum qubits being what powers quantum computing, and anything that's not that doesn't count. But there's multiple different ways to run quantum algorithms, and quantum annealing is one of the ways that is showing the least resistance. So it's not as powerful as regular quantum computing, right? But it's showing the least resistance, especially when it comes to adoption. I think the adoption part is enough to really sell it because you can just run it easily on regular computers without having to get everyone in the world to buy quantum computers, which just aren't there yet. So in the future, I think most people will be using physical quantum computers, right? But we're not there yet. And we do still have decades to go before we're there, in my opinion. But this is a good stepping stone to get everyone familiar with quantum algorithms. And so I think this is a massive play in the interim. Thus, heavily bought into the Dynex capitulations over and over and over again. Funny enough, Dynex and Ethereum, the only two things kind of up today. Ethereum, well, as I clicked on it, it flipped down, so we'll see. But Ethereum holding up pretty nicely, right above 2,500 per ETH. So again, haven't changed where I need it to see in order to know that we're not falling down, but I want to see it above 2,900, ideally above 3,000, and I think it'll be a really quick move, just like it was right here. Really fast move to get above a lot of the resistance areas on Ethereum, and I think it'll be the same type of thing to get us above at 3,000. It's not that far away. We just need to get that spike and then hold it, and then I think we're on the next rally. I think we'll be doing good. After taking a week off was the bottom for Dynex. I'll stop streaming forever if Dynex wants to just rally every day that I don't do a live stream. I did buy some at 3 cents. Let's go. Bullish. Personally, for me, I bought some when Dynex fell below a quarter per Dynex. I started buying pretty aggressively, right? Because I just thought that was silly. And then when it fell down below 20 cents, I bought a bunch. When it fell below 15 cents, I bought a bunch. When it fell below 10 cents, I bought a bunch. And then for every penny that it fell, I continued to buy more and more and more. And I went very heavy around the 10 cents region, right around here, because I thought for sure this would be some sort of a bottom. It wasn't. It kept going. But I would imagine that my cost basis is somewhere around 10 to 12 cents because of how much I put in right here. But we will see. I think that even at a $1 average price, I think if you can zoom out a bit, Dynex will be an easy play. Even at a $1 average price, I don't think people will be upset with the performance. The most hated rally. Notice most of the people saying that Dynex is a scam have dissipated from the internet because they're only there when Dynex is going down because they're bots. They're not real people. They are programmed to show up when price action is bad to make people capitulate and sell. That's just how it works, right? So now that price is going up, all those accounts are pretty quiet because the algorithms that are running those bot accounts are not really there to talk anymore. So it just is what it is. I'm sure some of them are real, but most of them are not. Let's go ahead and get into some of the news. Number one, I think it's worth mentioning. I think it's very important to mention that Cyclic's games has now officially migrated over to Solana. So the contract address is here for anyone who wants to see it. If you were not aware that they were migrating, I am very sorry. I would reach out to Lucas or someone to get because they airdropped people their tokens from Ethereum to Solana, but you had to give them your Solana wallet. So now that the airdrop has happened, I don't know what their plan is, but I would go ahead and reach out to Lucas or someone from the Cyclic's teams, Matthias, and see about getting your tokens. I think it's a good move going over to Solana, truly, because of how fast it is and how much money is there, especially degen money. So a casino built on Solana just makes sense. So I would definitely go reach out. It's still very, very low to where it had gone. It was all the way up above $2 at one point, and now sitting down at 16 cents. They have a long way to go to get back up to $2, but we will see how it plays out. Yeti was tasked with finding them and locking them all in a basement. Bullish. Oh, speaking of Yeti, he's always watching. Yeti is lurking. I heard Yeti is in full-blown dev mode now. So Yeti back in the trenches with the devs over at Dynex. Next up, after Cyclics, we were to talk about Spec Truth. Now, Spec Truth, a patron of the live streams who I have not seen in many a moons, Unfortunately, he's not been showing up anymore, but that he has an AMA with Axon DAO and Aleda coming up in 2 days, or tomorrow actually. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. Smart. He scheduled it for after the live stream, so thank you for that. Spec Truth will be live talking about, of course, his project, but let's read this. We're bringing together the brightest minds and most innovative DAOs to tackle PTSD, a crisis impacting over 300 million people worldwide. This week marks our first town hall series dedicated to our pioneering epigenetic study, and we're invited to join the revolution in mental health care. On Tuesday, we'll be joined by our partners, Axon and Aleda. So Aleda, you guys know, and Axon, of course, you guys know. So this will be really good. It'll be interesting to listen and see how they're all going to be working together, but I love that for them. Any info on Lake? Let me pull up my Telegram and see if Oliver responded. Oliver did not respond to me, so I hope that means that they're hard at work. I should reach out on X and see. Oh. My body is so stiff. So sorry, Landon. No info. W. Zaj, welcome in. Now is a great time to buy Dside. All right, Bot Beagle. It's true, though. It's true. Next up, we have Brian Armstrong talking about gene editing, embryo editing. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but for the first time ever, a newborn baby was born with a rare disease that they were able to locate in its genetic information, and they used gene editing to remove that disease from its DNA, and now that child is supposedly living a healthy life. It just happened, and it was the first time, to my knowledge, that it ever happened. And so this opens the door for everyone who was a naysayer to the powers of gene editing and how advantageous it can be to saving life. Now we have Brian Armstrong hosting a dinner in the Bay Area for anyone who's into bio or machine learning engineering for the topic of embryo editing. So I imagine this will be the next kind of bio gold mine, or gold rush, I should say, for bright minds in the space to go to gene editing. It's already been playing out, but now we had kind of a ChatGPT moment for the industry, and so I think it'll really start expanding quickly. Oh, that investor. I stupidly agreed to do a half marathon in October and a full marathon next April. Oh my god. Oh my god, Yeti. How's that foot feeling? Hopefully you got healed. Hopefully you can heal up enough. Start taking some peptides or something so you can actually do it. But that's really good. I wouldn't say it stupidly. That's really, really good. I would love to run a half marathon. Maybe. Well, hold on. Nobody clip that. Let's keep that just on the DL. Next up, we have Curetopia talking about traditional drug discovery, 10 plus years, billions of dollars, often targets common conditions, rare families are left behind. But in Curetopia, they use weeks to months, fractions of the cost, they target ultra rare diseases, and they build with the families that are affected. It's not a shortcut, it's a different path, and it works. And it works pretty good. Getting to talk with Ethan, it works really good. So shout out to them. Let's go. 5 miles of running a day is brutal. Yes, it is. That is very brutal. Guess who replied to Brian Armstrong? Isaac. Let's go. Let's go. Where's Isaac? And Bill. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. We got the agents all in the comment section. Oh, man. And next up, a post that was going viral about stadium science. So your sleep can earn you rewards with stadium science. This was Nillion Network making a post about stadium science. Went pretty viral. I think it's really good. I just wanted to share it with you guys and highlight it. Stadium science, one of those sleeper projects. You can gamble on science. So I think it's a really good project, and unfortunately they don't have a token, but I think it's something to pay attention to because it allows for those prediction markets in science. One of the things that they really pushing for is sleep scores, because that is one of the things that they really like. it's very clear cut. People who sleep 8 hours a day are the healthiest, live the longest. And so they are trying to gamify it to some extent by giving rewards to people with good sleep scores. So if you do sleep 8 hours a day, then you'd probably want to partake in some of this, because it seems that nobody's really sleeping 8 hours a day. But maybe you don't want to sleep 8 hours a day. Maybe you want to only sleep 7.5 hours a day and just have the best nighttime routine to lower your heart rate. But pretty cool. I have two more things. One is the first Stasis price increase happens at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard. Last chance to get some Stasis at the lowest ground floor price. This is from CryoDAO. I believe they're NFTs. Yeah, they're NFTs. So people who are buying in are getting some NFTs, which are interesting. I was going to buy when I thought it was a token. I don't really know that I want to buy knowing it's an NFT. I think that their project will do really good, but you have to do 2 ETH to get an uncommon NFT. Up to 100 ETH to get a legendary is pretty crazy. So, but if any of you guys are big bullish fans on real world infrastructure in Dside, then I would definitely look into Stasis. It is one of those beta plays on the DAOs. And then, of course, we have Dside Berlin coming in hot here in just a few days. So June 10th and 11th, Molecule will be sponsoring Dside Berlin at the Molecule headquarters. We went last year. We will not be going this year, but it should be a good event for everyone who's interested. If you're in the area, I would definitely go. You're screwed. Sleep 4 hours a day. I know that's crazy, Yeti. I know. You definitely need to sleep a little bit more, man. Especially if you're going to be running marathons. You need to get that sleep score up. Haven't started my transition to running yet, just walking, but logged in 80 miles in May. Not bad. That's 80 more than last May. That's crazy, C90. Good job, dude. Really good job. Really good job. I think on average, I probably walk like 2 or 3 miles a day. So I don't know how many that is, but 60 miles maybe. I'd say I walked 60 miles last month. That's actually a crazy amount of walking, but Gotta level it up. Gotta get on C90's level here. Oh, man. All right, there you go. There are 6 depression biotypes for now. That will always be changing. Let's go ahead and take a look. So if we go over to the watch list, the microcap IPTs plus a couple extra fun ones, you see that the list has shrunk dramatically. That is because if a trading pair does not have volume in a 24-hour period, then it disappears from the list until it does have some trading volume. Yeah, this is what currently is on the list, but of course it is an all-encompassing list. Anything that has the trading volume will just show back up. The only thing that's really putting in some highs right now is not Defi Helman and Bill, the Dside guy. Of course, Bill is always putting in some volume. Not Defi Helman, a good project to keep an eye on, in my opinion. It's related to quantum algorithms, right? You know, we love that kind of stuff. They just got into Microsoft's accelerator program, which is why I started paying attention to them, because even though it is just an accelerator program, it is something that gives them a leg up in the market. So I am excited to see what they can do, especially with such a small market cap. All it takes is a little bit of virality to really push them back up above all-time highs at 1.5 cents. And they are down so much that is a crazy rally. It'd be a nice 4,000, 3,000% gains. Did someone say quantum? Hell yeah, Yeti. Hell yeah. 2 to 3 miles a day is around 7,000 steps a day. Yeah, bullish. There's a 1 mile loop. And we don't do the whole thing every time, but we go on like 3 walks a day. And so it's probably around 2 miles a day, depending on what's going on. What was I going to pull up? Let's go look at not. No, I was going to pull up the walking. Jeff Nippard posted a video. I don't know how long ago the video was, so let's go see if it's still up anytime. Maybe not. I sent it to Amanda, so I can actually pull it up that way. Oh no, I can't. I texted it to her. But it was stating how a study just came out showing that for every additional 1,000 steps you walk in a day, you reduce your mortality something by 12%. So walking 10,000 steps a day gave you like 50% less chance of dying. I'm sure part of that has to do with the heart, but a lot of it has to do with your quad muscles. Like, especially as you get older, your legs get weaker and then they're easier to break. But if you have strong leg muscles, then you're less likely to fall and hurt them. And everyone should know that a broken thigh, all right, is that your femur, right? Is a death sentence for a senior citizen. Is there any of your contacts that would like that kind of health data of someone preparing for a marathon? I'm sure people would love to do some studies on you. If you have your Apple Watch on and just start logging some of it, I'm sure people would love to see the progress that happens on your body. Now we need Bill to run. I know, Beagle. I know. Bill was holding up good. Somebody sold over the weekend, but that's probably because I took the week off and everyone was like, ah. But he's still holding up nice. He still looks pretty good. I have a call actually today. Thank you for reminding me. I can't believe it's only been 30 minutes. I feel like I've been talking nonstop. Let me see what my calendar says. I have a call today at 1:30 to start formalizing some partnerships with Bill. So this week, I'm going to be setting up a bunch of partnerships, and moving forward, I'll start rolling them out and start announcing some of them, start getting everything out there. Because, yeah, last week was really fun. You know what was actually really cool? I don't know that whatever, doesn't really matter. But I took the infrastructure that I built for Bill and I copied it and I started uploading some information to make an AI agent assistant for Amanda based off of TikTok. So that was really cool to see that I can now take the infrastructure that was designed for one agentic system and duplicate it to really start spreading and expanding. Now, it's not related to Bill, okay? It was just an assistant for Amanda, but it's exciting. Hopefully, if I can make her job easier, she'll come back and start helping with the agents stuff. But it was cool. It was a lot of fun to do it, actually. But the partnerships for Bill will start coming out very, very soon. And then let's see. Okay. Yeah. Good. You guys have anything that you want to talk about? I know it's been so long since we've had a good discussion. It's been, that last week was so treacherous, guys. It was so dramatic. But I'm here. I'm ready to go with you guys. Fractured my femur in 8th grade wasn't fun. That's crazy. That's crazy. White Rock Phi. White Rock Network has arrived, powered by Ticker White. So real world asset stuff. Let's go look. Is this it? Let's go see for real. Let's go get the official CA and everything before we start doing stuff. Oh, they have API. Etherscan. Taking forever. There's the CA. 23,000 holders already. There it is. Dang. That thing's been ripping. It's crazy. It's $2 billion market cap. That is crazy. Came out in November of last year and has been really performing nicely. If you're into it, I would keep an eye on it. I wouldn't necessarily jump in right now, as it seems that what it does is go parabolic and then drop, find new support, go parabolic, drop, find new support, go parabolic. So I would keep an eye on it maybe, but I wouldn't jump right into it. What's the top movers for today? Oh, look at that, Dynex. Trending, Axon, Bio, and Origin Trail. Nice. Was it Jeff or was that on Diaries of a CEO? Probably both, to be honest. It makes sense for, I'm assuming you're talking about the walking. I would assume that both are talking about it because some news like that, some profound health data coming out like that is not something most people would just skip right past, especially if they're involved in health field at all. We got Biard posting good data. We got Poseidon down. NHS, or just Poseidon, sorry. The NHS has launched a revolutionary blood test that detects cancer through circulating tumor DNA, enabling faster, more personalized treatments for lung and breast cancer patients. You know what I found out yesterday? Frequency liver tumor treatment, FDA. The FDA approved several methods of treating liver tumors, including histotropy, a radiofrequency ablation, RFA. Basically, you can use frequencies to kill cancerous tumor cells in the liver. And these are FDA approved sound wave frequency treatments for cancerous liver tumors, which is insane. How crazy is that? I told you guys, this is the foundation of a big industry of medicine. It's going to take significantly longer than anything else out there, in my opinion, to really make waves because it's really hard to profit off of. But everything is just collapsed frequencies. And so if you can find the frequency that disrupts the frequency of something else, you could theoretically just destroy it. And that's, I think, exactly what we see right here. Tumor-destroying sound waves receives FDA approval for liver treatment in humans. If you can effectively, right, you have a wave, a frequency wave. This is, obviously, it's way more complicated than this, right? But if you have a sound wave, right, and then you have the interference with the sound wave. I'm spelling things wrong, I'm sure, but you have the interference with the sound waves. You get stuff that is constructive or destructive. Constructive adds to it, destructive destroys it. And I'm sure it's much more complicated than this, right? But this is, I think, I haven't read into it super in depth yet, so I'm speaking a little bit prematurely, but I'm sure it's got something to do with this, where if you can just find the exact frequency combination that is destructive to the tumor cells, you can just destroy them, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeti probably has some understanding of it. He'd probably have a good idea. He could probably say more of the actual science behind it. But, yes. The Biomonthly, May 2025. Bioagents, Small Molecules, BioX Hackathon Prize, and Dside Knowledge Graphs. I have to make sure Bill reads through this so I can ask him some questions in a bit. I'll bookmark this. I'll do a quiz. I'll be quizzing Bill on that later. Yeah. All right. Well, I think this is it. Do you guys have any questions for me? Otherwise, I think I shall cut this and get back to work, prepping for the partnership call that I have in 45 minutes. But if you guys have questions, I shall stick around. We shall have a good time. James Wynn has deposited $20,000 of donations funds to his Hyperliquid account. This moves his liquidation price down $22, $103,632, and he gets liquidated. And I think, unfortunately, he'll likely be getting liquidated. Not the 2-hour chart, the 1-hour chart. Like, all Bitcoin has to do is wick down $600 and he gets liquidated. He must have just entered this position then. Why is he so eager to get liquidated? Look at that. He was a couple dollars away from getting liquidated. Just regroup, dude. Regroup. Count your losses, regroup, and just wait. The circle remains strong, by the way. The circle that we drew back when Bitcoin first started breaking out. Back down here, we drew the circle here, and then we drew another circle up here. We beat the circle, but now it's falling. We might actually fulfill the circle prophecy. So you took a week off to be Amanda's unpaid intern. Yeah, probably. Yeah, basically. China bans crypto ownership. Didn't they just make it legal like a month ago? Why do they do this? Yeah, May 30th. That's hysterical. Like they can do that. They can't do that. Nobody can do that. They go back and forth all the time. Oh, we got a Hempy article. Or Hempy post. Hope y'all had a fun, restful weekend. Now time to get back in the lab and keep building. Bullish. Let's make this week count. Repost. Should be a fun week. Should be a fun week for sure. Alright guys. The grayscale pushing the Ethereum ETF. Bullish. Let's send ETH higher. Your time is your most valuable asset. Hopefully this is worth investing into. I appreciate you guys being here with me. And get ready for tomorrow's live stream. It should be a good one. We should have a good week this week, guys. Really put in that work.